Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today is my first early morning video, only because I have to go to work, but also because one of my subscribers sent me a link, and I can't believe what I was reading. At first I thought he was joking in the comments he was making leading up to the link. So anyway, I click on the link, and lo and behold, I couldn't fucking believe what I was reading. So, China has also started, well, not also, but China has started doing anal swabs. So let me say this again and slowly, because I know you're like, what the fuck? China has started doing anal swabs for COVID testing. So now, I don't know what the end game of this is. I don't know what the conspiracy side or thinking could be on this, other than alien anal probing. I don't know. I really don't know where they're going with this. So doctors say that there's a science behind it, which you could say there's a science behind anything and then not prove it, which we've seen all last year. Well, look at the science about the mask. Look at the science behind the mask, and yet people are still getting sick. Yeah, they keep saying look at the science, but then no one's really doing any mass testing. They're like shooting from the hip, if you will. So the science behind this is that recovering patients with COVID will test negative with a throat swab and a nasal swab, but will still test positive weeks later through anal swabbing. Well, here's the science about anal swabbing. You can still pick up a lot in your intestinal tracts after flu, cold, let's say stomach bug. Even after stomach bug, you're still going to have traces of whatever virus might be affecting you in your intestinal tracts. Therefore, it will be picked up in an anal swab. So this tidbit of information was released in the Future Microbiology Journal back in August, I think. And, okay, so you put this study in there just to give it some validity. I mean, just to, to make it look more concrete. That's a bit strange. And it's a bit strange that you even done that to begin with. You're like, let's see how we can annoy more people. Anal swabbing. That's it. We'll nail them on that. Now, obviously, the people in China right now are absolutely upset and pissed over this. A lot of them are saying, there's no way you're going to get me to do that, which is pretty interesting coming from Chinese who, the Chinese people, whatever they're told, they do. But this one, they're drawing a line in the sand. They're like, no. And you also have people saying, well, we have to find a better way how not to get COVID. How about finding a better way not to get something jammed up your ass? Right? How about saying, go fuck yourself, China. To the China government. You can eat a dick. Whatever you got to tell them. But there's got to be a line in the sand drawn, and that's the line for them, for some anyway. But we have to see where it goes, because they have done this testing on people that have been quarantined. So they've been doing this for a few months now. They've been doing the anal swabbing thing for a few months. But they've done it with a small group of people. And the small group of people that they've done it to have been people that were quarantined. How the fuck did they convince these people who were quarantined? Hey, well, stick this up your ass, and we'll see if we can pick up COVID through there. And someone dropping their trousers and going, okay, how the hell did that? Yeah. Anyway, man, that is another way of infringing on people's rights. So now you're gonna sit there and tell them they have to do anal swabbing if they meet a criteria. You're going to have a lot of pushback on it. And forget about it coming here to the United States. You're definitely going to have a lot of pushback on it. Because the science might be there, but that's overboard. There's a lot of science to shit, guys. And we don't do it because it impedes on people's rights. It impedes on people's privacy. And just, it impedes on people's wanting to feel like a human being. And shoving something up someone's ass to test it for COVID is throwing it out of the window. So I don't see how that would fly here. I don't think it would fly here at all, actually. I think they would mention it, and The politician who gets mentioned is going to get fucking monkey shit thrown at them for just mentioning it, let alone trying to push it to go through. Now, the quarantine procedures in China have gotten stricter over the last few weeks. So right now, if you are Chinese and you're coming from Italy or South Africa or somewhere in the UK, you have to be quarantined in a hotel. And it's a 2-week mandatory quarantine at that. To boot, they added another week of quarantining at home. And for that week, you have to call health officials with a daily update on your condition. So whether you have no condition and every day you pick up the phone, listen, I'm good, leave me alone. Click, and then you got to call the next day, listen, I'm good, leave me alone. Now, obviously, they're not going to say that. They're a little more respectful. They'll be like, no, yes, okay, click. They have to deal with that bullshit for another week. So there's 3 weeks of quarantining, 2 weeks in a hotel, a week in the home with a health official checkup. And that's checkup over the phone, guys. So that's a lot. They are very, very restrictive there in China, and yet their cases keep going up. Everyone in China wears a mask. Everyone. No one is seen in the streets without a mask, and yet their cases are still going up. So there must be a different problem going on, because the mask thing is not working. Clearly, it isn't. The social distancing, they really don't have that there. The social distancing and masks not working, so something's got to give. Either they got to get them better respirators or better masks, or they have to truly social distance. But whatever the problem is in China, it's continues to be a problem where they're spreading COVID. Now, the 2-week quarantine to the mandatory hotel room. So the article said, this is from the Washington Times. And the strange thing is China, again, just built those hospital rooms for quarantining as well. So I'm not sure if that's one and the same. I don't know if they meant to say those quarantine rooms or they meant to say hotel. But we did see a week ago they built those hospital room things again for COVID because their cases are going up. Now they are coming into their Lunar New Year. So with their Lunar New Year, reportedly 3 billion people travel around the world, right? Around the world during COVID. So it's a constant flux of traveling during that time. How about you just lock down travel for this year? So that's 3 billion people during a non-pandemic year. 3 billion people travel during the Lunar New Year during a non-pandemic year. Being that this is a pandemic year, there might be less people traveling, but nonetheless, it still sounds like people are going to travel. Well, how about the Chinese just shut down travel altogether? How about you shut down anybody coming out of there? As of right now, their travel restrictions have lessened, but their quarantine restrictions have worsened, if you will. So how about you just lock it all down during the Lunar New Year? Keep everybody in China at home if you're that concerned. Now in November, and this is the crazy shit, in November, the Shanghai's International Airport locked down the airport with thousands of their employees in the airport to test them all, because one or two of the employees or a couple of employees had gotten COVID. So they locked down the airport. They pretty much forced test these people, and a stampede breaks out. No one was killed in the stampede. People were injured, obviously. But that's strange that they took that upon themselves. A corporation, if you will, or a business, an airport, took it upon themselves to lock down the airport to test people, as opposed to just saying, yo, guys, get tested. They actually were forced testing them. Now, there are a lot of forced testing going on here in the United States as well. Schools and colleges are doing that. Well, you have to get tested twice a week if you want to stay in our school. There's one school in Massachusetts where they're testing kids, telling them to wear 2 masks now, social distance. While you're on their campus, you have to wear a mask. I hope people realize how stupid this is starting to become. Where now schools and businesses are overstepping, right? So yesterday I went to Apple to pick up a mouse, and the guy was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get you a better mask." I'm like, "How about you just bring my product to me so I can get the hell out of here?" The guy was like, "Oh, okay." It was that simple. I don't want to go in the store. I don't want to have to put a mask on. Bad enough, Apple's procedure right now to go into a store to go shopping, you have to schedule a date to go shopping. These restrictions are becoming a lot, guys. They're becoming overbearing. They're overstepping, if you will, as well. Telling people, well, before you come into my store, because I can see this happening, before you come into my store, you have to wear 2 masks. Fuck you, then I'm not going in your store. It's that simple. But the 2 mask thing is going to start catching on because we're idiots. There's no science behind it, but Fauci says it makes common sense, like I mentioned in my last video. How does it make common sense if you don't have any science to back it? But yet everything you say is follow the science, follow the science. Well, the science tells us. Well, the science is telling us that the COVID survival rate is 99%, 99.7%. There goes your science. But yet you still scare people into doing all of this extra bullshit that's not needed. So, in closing, there is no evidence that COVID can be spread through people having it in their digestive tracts. Zero evidence of it. So there's zero evidence of them spreading this while it's still in their digestive tract. Why the hell are they that concerned? And why are they testing that way? Or swabbing that way, sorry. These are questions that need to be asked because China is overstepping the line. Big time on this one. This is definitely a human rights violation. Absolutely. Alright guys, so this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on the Angryprepper channel. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.